They're just a season and 4 rounds into their Premiership existences, these two, but are eager to shed the newbies tags and start flexing their contender credentials. From the Crumby stands to the infamous red carpet down onto the pitch, this place hums with history. But it's not been a happy hunting ground for its resident Tigers, yet to win before their fans. Fortunately for Tom Hudson, the best hooker in the world in his eyes is back in club colours as Amy Cockayne makes her first appearance of the campaign. At the base, captain Charlotte Frey makes her 4th. The so impressive 24-year-olds not missed a match, as do Katie Childs and Evie Wills in the midfield. Canadian firecracker Claire Gallagher earns her first ever appearance in a Tigers 10 jersey, and you would be wise to keep an eye on Fran McGee. You know that Leicester Tigers will need her today, and that Trailfinders will do the same. Speaking of, they're assembling some squad in West London, and the raft of changes Barney Maddison has made to the side, who fell just short at Sandy Park, have only heightened the threat that this lot pose. 3 Maple Leafs, 3 Thistles, an Irish open side flanking an Eagle as captain, and a front row who, left to right, hail from Japan, Spain and Italy. A club and a place really starting to believe again. On the men's side, Michael Checker is leading a striped revolution with all those old school Tigers hallmarks of fire and brimstone. And Tom Hudson has promised us plenty of that today. Led by Captain America, Kate Zachary herself, a squad boasting athletes from 10 different nations. Yet to win on the road this season. But to be fair, very few conquer the Stonex or Sandy Park, and they gave both sets of ramparts a right rattle. 6th on debut last year, and looking to continue their perfect record against fellow Premiership newcomers. Hudson did away with the media handbook this week. He refused to describe his side as building. They went several notches backwards against Quins the last time they ran out here, and he acknowledges that things have to be better today. One bye round, some tough conversations, and their best ever training week later, and here they come, hungry and with a real point to prove. Handy too to have some serious firepower back for this one. The likes of Cockayne and Fury and McGee tasked with helping Tigers to barrel and scorch their way to a little slice of history. Trailfinders #1, the original, the OG, Kie Tamai watches on and readies some meaty shoulders for the equally meaty ones of Cockayne and Omakwale. So much talent littered across the turf here at Welford Road. In the middle today is Hollywood, with Neil Chivers and Simon Park patrolling the touchlines, and Stuart Terhege spooling away on TMO duties.
Trust you.
Leicester Tigers in historic green and red, Trailfinders in purple and black, both of them growing more and more at home in the rarefied air of the Premiership and amping their ambitions up with it. The boot of Gallagher will get us underway, and Tamai will receive and carry into the green jerseys before her. Katie Mattinson, who we heard from a little bit earlier on in her first start for her new club. And the same could be said of Lisa Thompson, who gets the ball away to Zachary there, and with open turf into which to scamper is Rosie Inman, wearing 14 today. No Abby Dow. Bit of a knock received to her hip last week at Sandy Park, so she gets a rest weekend. But no rest for the wicked in Pinup, who is cantering clear and pinwheeling with it, 10 metres out now. One of just 3 to have started every game for Trailfinders this campaign. It's her locking partner, Tyson Bukaboom, the Canadian great, who's the next to have a go. This now, Thompson, overlap, out on the wing. The skip pass, past Rolly and onto White. Well met by Gallagher. What a start this is from Trailfinders. Now it's onto the heavies, picks and goes, and little one-up runners. Zachary well enveloped. The eagle grappled down by the maple of Omakuale. Here is Tamai. Barking orders the former Gloucester Hartbury scrum half Mattinson swiftly to the base, but then stepping back and allowing another drive. 5 metres out. So wasteful with possession. They huffed and puffed at Sandy Park, but got very little for their efforts. They will look to leave this visit with something substantial.
Tackle release!
International stars right across that back line, but they're keeping it close and personal here. Boo-kaboom. Puncturing the game line, but just about brought down. Another Canadian, and Taylor inches short. Surely the next one, the killer blow through the hands of Shell. She picks out Jess Cooksey, outside centre, 1 metre in it. The phase count through the roof. Look at the counter up, the intensity of Tigers, fighting like Tigers on their own try line. Soaking up heave after heave, shove after half, and now the ball's stolen. What a turnover. It's Leah Bartlett who has stolen the ball back. Gallagher will exit, doesn't find touch. It's volleyed by Thompson, and they come again, the purple wave. Massinson. Pinnock. Well met. Omakuale with 3 big tackles already for her afternoon's work. Emily Scarrett's not spoken in minutes alongside me. So intense has been this start from Trailfinders, and Raleigh on her first start for her new side, doing what Chloe Raleigh does best, opens her account as a Trailfinder, and the women in black and purple have come screaming from the blocks.
Oh, what a start. We spoke pre-match around how this Trailfinders side have really tried to expand their attacking game. They've had, you know, real joy with it in the last couple of games, but this is where it all starts, straight from that initial kickoff. Trailfinders' backs just go to work. Lisa Thompson, fix and give. Kate Zachary, fix and give. And it gives Inman a decent effort down that outside, and then it's just a case of going through a fair amount of phases, isn't it? And then Chloe Raleigh, I mean, she does this. She'll eat that up for breakfast. She's so prolific at finishing tries, but what a start that is for Trailfinders.
Kate Zachary, captain today, calling for calm inside that huddle. Captain for rounds 1 and 2, Emma Taylor, is on kicking duties. Well, she's been kicking like a dream so far this season, 75%, but that one soaring just wide. But still, a commanding opening from the visitors.
It's a brilliant start, and it's a bit of a Canadian back row trait, isn't it, to have such an amazing boot. Emma Taylor on this occasion, but obviously so used to seeing Sophie de Goody kicking conversions for fun.
Gallagher, who will be ruining that missed touch on the clearance, gets us back underway. Taylor onto a pivoting Zachary, and now the try scorer Raleigh looked to get a fend away, but her footwork had done the damage. Boo-kaboom, up and onto Seye. We mentioned the 10 nations represented across this side. It really is a global globetrotters that Giselle Mather and now Barney Madison have brought to West London.
No, it's not.
Lovely feet there from Christina Blanco, who they call El Tigre. That's the Spanish international's nickname. So El Tigre up against the Tigers today.
Use it, 9. Don't do that too. Let go of them. Up.
Mattinson up and over the top. A little bit too much distance on it for it to be contestable, so Gallagher happy to oblige on this occasion. Gather that one in. Skittling pass. Finds Benevent, one of the new signings over the summer for Tom Hudson. Julia Omakwale has looked so at home in this league, hasn't she? What a start she's made.
She's made a brilliant start, and talking to some of the Leicester Tigers girls, she is absolutely rapid. If you get her in free space, she is apparently one of the fastest players in the team, no matter just the fastest forward. So hopefully we get to see a little bit of that today and her really stretching her legs.
I didn't see anything else. Oh, no, there's no advantage. Yeah, I've got you. Okay. Okay, it's time off there. Put the ball down.
Arm, okay?
Okay,
so it's deliberate offending.
Okay, so are you going up on screen, or are you going to give me the penalty?
Yeah, well, if we get it up on screen, but otherwise, no, go back to the penalty for the original ruck against the Ealing player leaning over and deliberately playing the scrum half's arm.
Okay,
here it comes, you'll see it now on the screen, yeah?
Yeah, perfect. Where's the mark on that one?
The voice there of our TMO, Stuart Tahij, speaking to Hollywood.
There we go, mate. Just so in the Leicester half, yeah, by the 15.
And just as impressive, perhaps,
Level with the tunnel.
as young Julia Omakwale
Keep coming back, guys.
is the young Tigers captain, Charlotte Frey, wearing number 8 today. Just 24, young player of the year last season, but alert to that and able to just get in the ear of the referee.
Okay, we've got to play off the ball. Okay, it's picked up by TMO, so it's going to be your player pulling the 9 off the ruck that will go back for the original pen. Okay?
Thank you. Yeah, just trying to listen in there to exactly what Hollywood was saying, but yeah, exactly that. It's you know, it's really smart captaincy when you're able to pick up those small details when you've also got your head in the game yourself and you're trying to, you know, hustle and bustle around that breakdown. So really good opportunity here for Leicester Tigers. First real attacking opportunity deep into the half, but just really interesting in that previous bit. Just started to have a little go at some of the breakdowns. Just started to have a little look at that physical edge that potentially they're really going to need this game.
Cocaine back in Tigers colours, as is Eva Donaldson, the young Scottish blindside, who is lifted high here at Welford Road and brings it down cleanly.
Keep going, let it come, don't move.
Brutaling for that one was Ralph. Then the little chip through from Gallagher. On the chase there was Evie Wills, but it's Rolly now onto that right peg over the top. Gallagher there. Also racing back is Ralph. So fit, just goes and goes with her sevens background. Slightly sliced, more's that clearance, and out on the full. So just a couple of misjudged efforts from the boot of Claire Gallagher, who was so impressive during WXV, but this is her first appearance at 10 for Tigers.
Yeah, she's got an amazing boot. We saw it all through WXV.
Guys, time off there. We've just got blood. Take a knee, please.
And a different quality of boot. I think she's got that long one that she can go and, you know, take a really easy field position, but also the little subtle touches as well, cross fields or kicks through the middle. So, yeah, I think certainly for Leicester Tigers, they're going to want to play in the right areas of the field, and she is going to be really, really crucial to that.
Okay.
Speaking to Tom Hudson in the week, he said that he's given her a remit, which is based on a tenths quota.
That's all right.
So 3 times out of 10, she's allowed to be Claire Gallagher. On 3 out of 10 opportunities, she can put the little dink kicks in. She can show her X factor and her magic and her razzmatazz. But the other 7 out of 10, he said, please give me pragmatism, because she is such a live wire and he needs her today just to give her some consistency.
Oh, 30%. I'm not sure how I'd feel about that. I can't wait for that conversation when Megan Jones comes back, because I tell you what, she doesn't play herself at 30% of her normal talent. But yeah, look, you have to find the balance, don't you? I think when you've got such fantastically skillful players and you want them to bring their very best version of themselves into a game, but also it's got to fit into a game plan. It's got to fit into, you know, the rest of the other 14 players on the field and how that makes you function as a whole side.
Donaldson second in the whole PWR last season for line-out steals, picking up right where she left off. And that's a turn up for Tigers, alleviating pressure right from a creaking Trailfinders set piece.
You can just see Leicester Tigers actually after a couple of these events just getting around each other a little bit more, celebrating those small victories. And sometimes when you're having a tough time and you're perhaps not getting the results you want or the performances or scoring the amount of, you know, tries and things, actually they're the little moments where if you come together as a side, they're the things that you can then really build on and you know, develop throughout a game.
Set. Penalty. Far side to me.
Positive, stacked on positive. The turnover at the line out Now the scrum penalty, Gallagher will clear. And it's one of those empty-handed 22 departures for Trailfinders that they are so desperate to avoid this week.
Yeah, and it's a Trailfinders scrum that struggled a little bit last week down in Sandy Park against Leicester.
Yeah.
Lots of scrums do. Let's just caveat that there as well with how strong they are. But yeah, really good start certainly from this front eight of Leicester Tigers.
Well, speaking to Trailfinders scrum coach in the week, Brett Wilkinson, he acknowledged that they are a smaller pack. They've got to be technically excellent because they've not got as much weight behind them as others. And you can see there, they have just been driven backwards by that Tigers maul, which has had 2 enormous bites of the cherry. They struggled at maul time against Loughborough in round 2.
Just keep that
and again,
please, mate.
the bleepers going furiously as Tigers, without having played much at all, find themselves in the other half of the pitch. Perfect kick from Gallagher. That was one of the 3 out of 10 moments. That was velvet. Into the 22 now. They are just inhaling territory. And now Gallagher delaying the pass. Ball back in field from Childs, the Sweden international, kept alive wonderfully. Ralph runs into the hulking figure of Bookaboom and was going nowhere fast, but they've still got the ball. And now the Welford Road faithful start to make themselves heard. Cocaine brought down 6 metres out. The pass onto Childs, who is ended by Pinnock. Back she tilts. Recycled Benevent. That's a totemic carry there. And now Omakwale takes 2 Trailfinders to bring the Canadian down. So furious with her carry. 2 penalties in a row conceded by Trailfinders.
Ball wasn't out.
No side had worse discipline in last year's campaign, and they are still struggling in that department.
Well, maybe Leicester Tigers were just napping at the very beginning of the game, but they've certainly woken up now. What a passage of play that was. All started initially just from that fierce maul from the penalty. Then the ball gets recycled. They're on penalty advantage. Gallagher picks her head up. It's probably not the prettiest of kicks, but it's into the space. She identified the space, and then they're off and running, and Trailfinders are just under so much pressure. And with the Leicester Tigers maul that just flew down the field, this looks a pretty dominant prospect.
You want no one but Amy Cocaine throwing in positions like these. Top try scorer at the last World Cup. Averaged 1 every 80 minutes last season. She did her job, but it's her opposite number, Blanco, the recipient of that spilt pass. Tamai on to Taylor. This now is Cooksey with Grace White, who has been unstoppable, irresistible this season on an arcing run. Rolly lending her way in at the breakdown, and they just about get away with that, Trailfinders.
Well, the Leicester Tigers fans on that far side don't like it. But again, just how Trailfinders, they're trying to play their way out. They get that turnover. Grace White, here she goes, she takes off.
Mark's over there.
Yeah, and there's some hands on the ground there, isn't there, before the ball gets picked up. So it's a good call.
You can just about see there the cracking shiner that Grace White is sporting, given to her by the right heel of Kate Zachary last weekend. A boot in the face. There we go, look at that, resplendent. She's also dyed her hair, which is every commentator's nightmare. So it was really handy to have popped along to Vallis Way and watched them train on Tuesday. Got 2 black eyes. Okay. That's new since Tuesday. I wonder how she got the second.
Green on the line. You just on the line, step off.
2 black eyes, a new head of hair, and a new tattoo on her ankle called Lauren, which is a dancing frog. You learn all sorts when you pop down to training.
Got it. Yeah.
Trailfinders' turn to show us what they are made of at maul time. It's not quite as productive, but cleanly away and on to Grace Moore. Here is Thompson getting away one of those trademark fends, and the strength through contact is fabulous. So opposite number clinging onto her child, and then the shot knocking the ball from the hands of Mattinson. Penalty advantage going the way of Tigers. Discipline shackling Trailfinders as things stand.
I don't know, Katie Mattinson surely is having still a subtle word with the assistant referee about what happened on that near side then. Whether it was in the tackle or not, surely some form of knock-on to Trailfinders, if not a penalty.
Surprised by that too. Shell onto White, who's in off
right, guys.
her wing.
You'll
Player
get
of the
it,
match
guys.
against Loughborough just a few weeks ago. Her statistics are eye-watering this year. Prop finds prop. Tamae on to Seye. Through the hands. Cooksey flat onto Zachary, who's glad to be back
Okay, not now, 14.
in the back row after a brief stint at centre for Exeter, her previous club. Seye next. The phase counts are so different for these two sides. Huge amount of industry going into everything that Trailfinders are doing. Still leading by 5, courtesy of that Rolly score, and it's Rolly digging for it now.
There they come.
Bookaboo. Need a scrum
Penalty
half.
advantage, not rolling.
They've got one, and the penalty too.
Not
Mattinson
rolling.
looking to take it quickly. Referee allows her to do so. Scanning now, she's got Inman to her right. There's the switch play. Cockayne is wise to it. Well, didn't really have to do much. She ran right into her. But the job works. And now the ball extricated. That is 2 turnovers now for Leah Bartlett in the space of 15 minutes. They're all going quickly. Amy
You'll
Ralph
have to leave your hands.
had eyes for a long run for home. Turnovers, thick and fast.
Well, it looked like Trailfinders had really got themselves going there. Katie Mattinson with that quick tap, wanting to keep the pace and the tempo high. And there's Leah Bartlett just over the ball. Boy, you need a slow-mo on that to see whether there was a clear release or not from Leah Bartlett. But nonetheless, Leicester Tigers, they knew they were going to have to front up physically. And so far, in and around the breakdown area, they really, really are. It's the one way that they're going to get an into this game. Here's that turnover again. Boy, it's tight, isn't it? Nonetheless, the penalty's been awarded, and Leicester Tigers deep in their 22.
Just make sure you're on that back foot.
They've got themselves a reprieve.
Okay. Time back on.
They've played 9 times at home, Leicester Tigers. This is their 10th outing at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road. Yet to get a win here. And speaking to Hudson in the week, they've ripped up their theme for the season, Emily. It used to be rebellion. They wanted to lead a rebellion in the PWR, but he said that they needed to up the intensity in training. So the new theme is jungle. Everything was jungle themed this week. They wanted to bring a tribal ferocity to things. It was, to quote Hudson, just crazy how hardcore things got, but they've never trained better. So let's see if they thrive in the jungle today. A name we've not said yet today, Morgan Richardson, the most capped Tiger of all time, 44th outing for the women in red and green. And now Fran McGee showing dancing feet and a clean pair of heels, still going, gets the offload up and away, and then plying herself down over the ball to enable that swift passage onto Richardson. Here she goes, the point-sized open side who makes her presence felt for 80 minutes, week on week. Gallagher now, looking to find Katja Jacobs.
Still plays scrum advantage.
The Springbok, but pass doesn't go to hand, so turnover ball, and we know how lethal Trailfinders are in transition. McGee diffuses that one, looks up, sees Shell in her face. So finds Gallagher. Rolly judged that one to perfection, and then it's a perfect pirouette from the fullback. Time at Lille, Quins, Exeter and Loughborough Lightning, and now representing Tigers. Trailing by 5, looking for a first victory of the campaign. Both of these ones last year went the way of Trailfinders. Victory in round 4 and again in round 12. And then an absolute thumping in a playoff match in the Allianz Cup.
Again, Leicester Tigers really having a go at that breakdown. They know there's opportunities there, either to slow ball down or potentially get turnovers, but they're certainly not letting Trailfinders have any easy, especially in this middle. Here we go again.
No, take a step.
Taylor with Bookaboo to her right. Inman is lurking there on the wing. Here now is Saye. Mattinson thinks the boot might be the best option here. It sits up just inside the 22.
It's a lovely kick. It's a nice option.
Right, you guys are on the
Love
edge
to
of the
see
white.
Leicester Tigers have covered that a little bit better with the amount of pressure they're putting on at the breakdown. The ball is not fast, it's slow.
Time off.
Katie Mattinson's picked her head up and seen a bit of space because they're also under pressure. It was probably just a little bit too easy for her to dribble that down into that far corner. And again, Leicester Tigers under a bit of pressure. But I love the start to this game, both sides.
Okay.
It feels as though we've had heads on swivels. It's been
Lady
properly
Kosh, she's
end-to-end
standing up.
stuff.
Let's go.
5 points, a really
many.
lowly return on what's
she needs to
been
take a knee
pretty
again.
high ball in play.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, certainly if you already reviewed that first nearly 20 minutes of the game, there's probably a good couple of missed opportunities for both sides. So, yeah, both sides certainly creating chances, which obviously we hope will continue throughout the rest of the game. And then both sides will be looking to really up their conversion rate within that.
Time back on.
Here at TNT Sports, we are supporting the Disasters Emergency Committee's Middle Eastern Humanitarian Appeal. Please text TNT Sports to 70676 to donate £10, with every penny going to the appeal. And the UK government will be matching pound for pound up to 10 million's worth of public donations. Millions of people across the region are in urgent need of food, shelter and medical care, so please, if you are able, donate. Ball ricocheting off a body in green, picked up by Bukaboom. Inman is on her shoulder, and that is a burgled try here at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road. The second score for Trailfinders, and it is Rosie Inman who rises with the plaudits.
I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure what happened at the back of that maul and breakdown as it turned out to be then. This is how it all came about. So it was deemed a tackle in the end. Amy Ralph tries to fire the ball across the breakdown, ends up hitting a Trailfinders player in the back, and then it just bobbles about. And Inman is the first to react. Sorry, Bukaboom is the first to react. Inman on her shoulder. And that felt a little bit easy for Trailfinders, really did.
Rosie Inman, who's had the beating of Tigers before. She beat him in the Championship final whilst on loan with Cheltenham Tigers last year. She's back, twisting the knife. Emma Taylor not nailing her place kicks today, with a rueful expression on her face, hands the tee back to Sarah Denham. But let's get the thoughts from the coaching box. Jenny Drummond, who have you rustled up for us?
I have Tom Hudson alongside me. Tom, I was going to say not ideal timing for you there, just having conceded a second try. Thoughts on the first 20?
Well, you asked if they were bringing physicality. I thought we have done. I just feel like we've slightly absorbed it and been on the back foot a little bit. As well as that, we've had 2 good try-scoring opportunities, haven't quite taken them, so we are just a little bit having to absorb what Ealing, what Trailfinders are bringing, as opposed to us dictating the game.
How much tighter does defence have to be?
Considering more, as I just watched this play, not tight to it, sort of like we're filling the width well, but we're getting dragged into collisions. They're running some good hard lines, pulling out the back, and we're just getting stuck in that holding width, but make sure we don't get stuck in.
And what would you say to them right now if you could jump on that pitch?
I'd just love us to just keep in the game and just take our opportunities when we can.
Thanks very much for your time, appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Offside, number 5, and makes the tackle.
Tom Hudson there.
Number 5.
Who is a former fly half and playmaker himself. He lives and breathes attacking rugby. Says he's really quite jealous of his wider coaching staff, because now he's stuck pushing pencils and doing red tape and all of the jobs that fall to the head coach. He quite misses being stuck in the nitty-gritty of it. What we have made so far, Emily, of the playmaking exploits of Tigers? Have they managed to get their game out on the park much?
No.
Not properly, I don't think. You know, certainly we've seen a little taste in this game already of some of the kicking game that they can bring to life.
Okay.
But yeah, I think certainly they need to get themselves into the game a bit better. That defensive set is a prime example, you know, and Tom spoke about it. They're in it physically, but then there's a let off somewhere, whether that be, you know, one soft tackle or in that instance a penalty.
the jungle, all right. Right as promised. Tigers on the back foot, down by 10. Those 2 tries, Rolly and then Inman. We knew that Trailfinders' back 3 would cause problems today, and so they've proven.
Backwards.
Somehow, Rolly managed to tap that with the toe, keep it going backwards, regather, and then beat a trio of defenders before finding a basketball pop passing Kate Zachary. A Scott to an eagle, and now a maple leaf. Taylor is at the base of that one. The Tigers continue to go hunting on the floor. Here is Omakwale, and there is the penalty.
Well, that's exactly what Leicester Tigers, they've been going after it. They've not quite got the joy, perhaps, that they would have wanted in that first period, but you can see there's a real intent of these breakdowns. Whether that's through counter-rucking or whether it's trying to get over the ball and steal. There was a couple that they had to go at. This one here, Amy Ralph with a brilliant tackle. And then Omakwale straight over the top of that ball. Clearly hands off the ground, clearly supporting her own body weight. Super, super strong.
A 23-year-old from Calgary, where she was a star at 7s and 15s. Hence the speed, hence the engine. Speaking of engine, they're going through the gears here with this maul. Can they replicate the ground that they gobbled up about 10 minutes ago in the centre of the pitch? Making some headway. Gallagher looking for the little dink through, but it bounces off a shin of a Trailfinder. Look at the number of bodies they're having to commit to the ball on the ground here. A caterpillar forming. Blanco, the latest to arrive. Now Tamay. Massinson will stick that upwards and over. Ralph finding Fury, one of the other US Eagles involved. Still no news on Ilona Ma. Status pending. Ralph on to Gallagher. That's so flat, too flat perhaps. Knocked on. Inman quickest to react. Shell with the chip and the chase. McGee and Rolly. That's a foot race we'd pay to see any day of the week. And Scott bundles into Scott.
Okay, step.
Now it's Trailfinder's turn to make life miserable on the floor.
Then you came round the side.
But round the side, someone came, and Henrich, in her PWR debut, another one of the Americans involved this afternoon. She goes quickly. Ralph. Bartlett. Having a real crack. There were options. There was speed to her outside, but didn't find it on that occasion.
Penalty advantage, not rolling.
Trailfinders concede another penalty as Tigers throw another errant pass. That one onto McGee from Frey. Look at the bodies in purple and black, chasing her down. She's kicked it over the top. It's rolling like a dream, and that is sumptuous from Fran McGee. Much too much in the terms of guile and speed and accuracy from the flying Scots. And Leicester have a try at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road.
Well, it all started in that far right-hand corner with Leicester Tigers with a brilliant maul opportunity. I thought they'd taken it out far too soon. Then they end up back down there, the other end. Then there's that speculative pass, which looks like a brilliant miss pass in the end, but potentially a bit fortuitous, and then Fran McGee just goes to work. All the pace in the world, identifies that last defender, puts it on the toe, over the top, and she's got all the pace in the world to finish that. Brilliant, brilliant score. Solo effort, just keeps track of that ball bounce. It manages to roll in the Emperor, which is really, really helpful. Great for Leicester to get back into this game.
Nowhere near for Fury. That kick might have been wayward though, but how about the nudge from McGee?
Yeah, and it's just the pickup, like that ball's gone on the ground, it's bouncing around, the pickup from Frey, and then just let your wingers go to work. I think what we've seen so far in this game is that both sides have found lots of opportunity and lots of space on these edges. Do a bit of work in the middle and it's going to open up for them. So, yeah, really, really fascinating to see how this game develops from that point of view.
Let's keep them on you.
World Rugby's Breakthrough Player of the Year. Is an award that will be decided in a few weeks' time in Monaco. McGee was nominated for it last season after a breakout campaign to remember. Playing alongside that woman there, Eva Donaldson, who carries from the restart. Off the left boot of Gallagher onto her countrywoman. This is Shell. First appearance in a fly half jersey for the year for the Trailfinder. She's been topping up at 12 and 13. Wearing 13 today is Jess Cooksey, who carries to halfway. Double shot coming in there from Frey and from Jacobs. Keep hold of it on this occasion. Bartlett going sniffing for what would be a third steal, but referee asks her to let go.
Let it come now. Leave it there.
Thompson displaying again that characteristic ability to always make a few extra yards. Such a good signing coming over from GB Sevens over the summer, the two-time Olympian. And now the penalty advantage. Now Shell and Thompson on either side of this ruck, knowing that they can really fizz it about, get it to the danger women like Rolly. Still with an advantage here. Trailfinders. Little trick pass from Mattinson, but that will have gone forward. So back for that earlier infringement.
Go. Number 5, not rolling. 5 green.
In case you have somehow been living under a rock, we are showing you all of the Autumn Nations series here on TNT, and the Autumn Nations Rugby show does exactly what it says on the tin. Our very own Craig Doyle, plus pals, reviewing and previewing the best of this chocker month of test match action. And then next weekend, we are off to Sandy Park for the first time this season. Kick-off at 3 o'clock on Sunday. So pleased we are covering this one because it's Susie Appleby's Exeter Chiefs and hopefully the former World Player of the Year alongside me now representing Leicester.
Let's see what comes from it.
I'm excited already.
A trip to Sandy Park to the undefeated Exeter Chiefs. Remember, the only side with a perfect record so far, 23 from a possible 25 table points. And there was a little North American derby out in the wide channels there as Shell had Henrich for company and managed to keep the ball with the women in purple. 30 minutes played. Rolly and Inman scoring for the visitors. The home side beleaguered for the first quarter, but striking back through a moment of McGee magic. Speak of the devil. Here she is, the gesture from the side of me from Emily Scarrett tells her to have another go, do something else special, pull another trick from the box. Tips it on to Donaldson, and Ralph, who has been industrious, finds Gallagher. Just patted backwards, it's deemed.
Okay, penalty advantage.
And now a penalty advantage going the way of Tigers, hunting for a second score, which would pull them level.
Just a penalty.
Yeah, there's definitely, I think Julia Shell just drew her arm out.
Advantage coming.
On this near side, it ended up coming off her and then back off the Tigers player.
Got a number. Ah, thank you.
But they've got it, yeah.
On number 10.
Just a penalty, they're pretty happy with that. This is it here, just find themselves, just a lovely little 2-on-1 opportunity.
No.
I mean, in the area of the field that there is, I needed a bigger camera angle to see what sort of defenders were in behind on that.
End of. Okay, guys,
but potentially done well to just get away with a penalty there, Trailfinders.
Yeah, just on your front.
You ask and you shall receive, Emily Scarrett.
Well, this is it. Done a really great opportunity for a 2. Yeah, you can see there's a player in the backfield there.
7.
Covering in behind, so it's certainly not penalty try territory, but it was a brilliant opportunity for Leicester Tigers.
Ten metres out, and you can just about hear the voice of Meg Jones from the stands beneath us, barking orders, but they need the drills to stick first. Hudson talking ahead of this season about how often Leicester Tigers would prove the agents of their own undoing with set-piece malfunctions, and that's a prime example of it.
Yeah, it's a tough one. They've obviously gone right to the back to try and get as much out of the impending maul as possible, but just not quite right on their drills, which is there's quite a few opportunities now Leicester Tigers have had down in this area where they've turned over the ball and then conceded a penalty, which then gives Trailfinders a really easy out. It's a really good kick from Lisa Thompson.
Yeah. Okay, just on the edge. Not straight. Option. Scrum or line out, guys. Okay. Scrum. Okay. Just keep your
There's
feet
a really
underneath you, okay?
interesting battle for me in the middle of the field. It's two Scottish players. Lisa Thompson, 12 for the Trailfinders side and 13 for Leicester Tigers, Evie Wills. There's been a couple of really nice interactions so far for them, just really physical, both of them wanting to go straight up and down through that middle. Lisa Thompson carrying really well, but Evie Wills as well. We want to see her on the ball. Want to see her with an opportunity to really show what she's about. Was out for such a long time. Well, all of last season, in fact, with an injury, but so far this season looked really bright. And we'll really be wanting to put her hand back up and, you know, let the international side of things in Scotland know that she's still here and she's still playing really well.
Like Lisa Thompson, she's a fly half slash centre, so you're right, she's got that running game, but equally she's got the ability to playmate, to distribute like a dream. She kicks too.
Yeah, and isn't that lovely? I think that we just caught an interaction there between Lisa Thompson and her as they eye each other up and this potential strike play from this scrum. But yeah, I think, and you think again about the prospect of Megan Jones coming back into that midfield somewhere. It could be a really exciting backline.
Well, here is Wills running right at Thompson, but the ball's away. Up over the top, and such a shame that was forward because Henrich had eyes for the whitewash and only Cooksey to beat. You mentioned Meg Jones coming back. She was in full training this week by all accounts, but just not quite ready for an involvement in a match day. When you get someone like Meg back in training, how much energy does that inject into proceedings?
Oh, such a huge amount. I think, you know, obviously there's one with the quality of player that she is and how she goes about her business at club and the, you know, just natural ability and basic quality that she'll bring to training sessions. But then there's the other part with Meg, which is, you know, her personality and the natural energy that she'll bring with that and the hype that she'll bring to everybody. You know, she's such an energizer, she's such a positive person. So to just have that, you know, personality back around the day-to-day will be so valuable for Leicester Tigers.
This time, penalty advantage, or the free kick rather, at the scrum, going to the visitors. Cooksey now heads back in against the grain, but well read by Gallagher. Bookaboo with a lovely fingertip pat onto Taylor. Two Canadians in perfect synchronicity. Two athletes who captained this club. They've got so many leaders. It's one of the leaders at Tigers, Ralph, who has it now. Finds herself surrounded by an awfully lot of big women in the middle of them all against her wishes there. We'll have another scrum as Meg Jones watches on.
Angle and weight.
That's exactly what I was on about in terms of her personality. Just cannot just pretend like she's not seen the camera and just pretend she's watching the game normally. But that's exactly the energy that she'll have brought back to, you know, Oval Park and the training venue, and will just be, you know, feeding that into the girls, whether it's through, you know, expressions on her faces or actually through the you know, the words, the encouragement she's given, and as I said, you know, the natural ball playing ability that she has that she'll bring back. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing her back on the pitch hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
I want to see her back, but also I want more of that. So we win either way.
I just hope we're going to screenshot some of those and post them on social media. Let's make her regret that.
Collab invitation coming soon, Meg.
3 to ground.
This one to Tigers, whose captain Frey decides enough is enough. Let's get back on the front foot. Takes it quickly, tips it on. Henrich at the base of that one, and now on Aquale with a beautiful little float of a pass. As she rode the contact, Gallagher stutter step. This now Cocaine. That scrappy bun lashing backwards and forwards. Here is Wills. Met by Thompson, who had eyes for the rip, but in the end just dumps her compatriot onto the turf here. Jacobs.
Okay, let it pinning her in now. She's not interfering.
Bartlett waiting back in the pocket, shaped for a moment as though she might kick that one, but now it's Wills. McGee's to the short side, but it's open their heads, and here is Jacobs. Back-to-back appearances for her and Omakwale. Really settled on this lock pairing, they reckon, here at Tigers. Donaldson. Her first start since returning from exploits with Scotland in WXV.
Scrum advantage.
How that was freed by Jacobs, I do not know, and the answer is forwards. Scrum.
No advantage there.
Well, you just felt like that was potentially coming a really good defensive set from Trailfinders. Leicester Tigers getting through plenty of work, plenty of phases, but not necessarily making any inroads, you know, keeping it quite tight. Trailfinders got themselves pretty high in some defensive lines, making their tackles, making their shots.
Right.
I think this game is really starting to grow from the physicality point of view, isn't it? You know, certainly Leicester Tigers have come out with that intent, and Trailfinders are now really having to come and meet that.
Is she injured? Is she taking a knee, or is she taking a knee? So we know. Okay. So we know if time's off or not.
Emma Taylor, newly arrived from Saracens over the summer. She's played every minute so far of the campaign.
Same again, and you bind is better, that one just needs height.
Just receiving.
Told her the same. Okay.
All the right attention, having received a bump to the head.
No, she's up. Sorry?
Saying that was head-to-head, those in the ruck from their player hitting her on a clear out. Is TMO looking at it?
Yeah, TMO will sweep everything.
Okay, because I know our wingers said
he's sweeping, just trust that process.
Ever smooth, calm
Time
voice
back on. Let's start building.
Kate Zachary, her national captain, now her club captain. Speaking to Liz Craik at Trailfinders training this week, who's not with us on this occasion. She's such a charismatic, compelling leader. Some skippers, all blood and thunder, but Liz said that Kate can just look you in the eyes, tell you quietly, I believe in you, and you feel like you can run through walls for her.
Yeah, an incredibly inspirational individual by all accounts. Obviously, you know, so good in the way that she plays the game for one, but yeah, certainly how she leads and her actions. As you say, sometimes it's not all about shouting and swearing and big words and motivational speeches. She's got that in the locker too.
I was also told on Tuesday how implausibly strong Grace White is, how much she lifts in the gym, how quick she is when you look at her GPS stats, and you can see it there in the extra ground she made up, but lost forwards there by Chris Blanco.
And it's gone forwards.
As we enter the final minute of this first half, we'll have a scrum dead in the centre of the field.
Well, I feel like we've been in the middle of the field for a little while now, haven't we? Both sides just going through quite a few phases, not really getting anywhere. Maybe just need to look at changing the point of attack, whether that's in the air or trying to get themselves to an edge breakdown to really change that defensive picture. But it'll be interesting to see what Leicester Tigers do from this. Midfield scrum, always challenging to defend.
Let's go, sir!
Real opportunity for the backs to go to work here and really express themselves and have a pop.
Bite! Set!
An opportunity for expression, Emily Scarrett said, and expressing herself there was Amy Cockayne.
But it wasn't quite the expression I was after. But yeah, certainly I think Leicester Tigers have certainly... Oh, she kept that in.
It's kept in. Has McGee got the wheels? Not quite. Chloe Rowley, by the bounce of a rugby ball, has spared some serious blushes as the clock flashes red.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Scrum.
I mean, it was a great effort with the kick. Chloe Rowley does a brilliant job to get up there, but sometimes you've got to wonder whether you just let that go out and take your medicine. Nobody else is expecting that. If you can't catch it and keep a hold of it, you are allowing the bounce of a rugby ball and fate to take its course, and I tell you what, they got away with one there.
Nick, is time mine? Okay, cool.
You suspect she's given Fran McGee a few assists now in Scotland colours, but she wouldn't have enjoyed providing one today in opposite jerseys as they find themselves. 5 metre scrum for Tigers. This to level things up on the stroke of half-time. Good scrum going forward, lovely platform, and it's Frey, the captain, who rises with it through the washer. Grace Moore hurling her down, gone backwards 5 metres. Such was the ferocity of that tackle.
Great speed off the base there from Grace Moore, wasn't it? Such a crucial area of the field to defend as a flanker in those positions. She got off really well and tackled Frey.
Up to the task was Omakwale, who was the latest to have a tilt there. Frey, stolen. What a turnover that is. Fabulous work from the original Trailfinder, Kie Tamai. The Sakura 15s forward who used to be a lock, used to play in the back row as well, and bringing all of that mischief to the loosehead jersey. Lisa Thompson says that will do nicely, and Trailfinders and Tigers head to the sheds here at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road, with just the 5 points separating them. Chloe Rolly and Rosie Inman striking first. A retaliation through a moment of wonderful, wonderful footwork from Fran McGee. And with 40 minutes played in this intriguing encounter, it is Trailfinders who lead by 10 points to 5. This is the tightest things have been at half-time all season for Leicester Tigers, looking for that first ever home victory in the PWR. The issue has been handling expectation. When they're underdogs, Tom Hudson says, they are phenomenal. When the result is tangible, they shackle themselves. So Emily Scarrett, with things in the balance, just 5 points in it, how do they keep themselves from tightening up and self-destructing?
Well, it's always a lot easier said than done, isn't it? I think certainly like quick and easy exits like that will really help them, you know, playing in right areas of the field and then going and back in their defence, which was really strong in that first half. Apart from when we make maybe potentially a high shot there, but yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. And then they've got to just go back to type, go back to their game plan, and keep going through those phases, because the first half for them I think was really promising.
Grace Moore involved in that famous victory over the Black Ferns for Ireland in WXV, and another player who pulled up trees in that competition. Shell is finding Thompson, who's swerving and looking for the offload, but instead rides the contact. What a start to this second half for Trailfinders. Ball hurtles past the outstretched fingertips of Mattinson, and we will have a scrum down inside Tigers 22.
Well, we were just speaking there about what Leicester Tigers needed to do, but I think it's quite clear, certainly from that first passage of play, that Trailfinders have come out with a real renewed energy, a real sense of needing to play this quicker. This is where it comes out here on the edge. Thompson just hitting that kind of short line. Defenders from Leicester Tigers just not able to cover the space quick enough, and it's a really good pick. She's been going really well so far this game. Obviously off the bench last week, new to Trailfinders, really slotting in nicely.
Bartlett, Cocaine and Benevent packing down opposite Tamai, Blanco and Seye. Massinson making life tricky for Ralph there. The 2 nines going hammer and tongs at one another.
No, tackle is still there.
We were chatting during the break about how busy Ralph has been without the ball. She really puts herself about in defence, does the scrum half. It's well above her weight. Back in the pocket is Fury, who can't quite find touch. Instead, she finds White, who's got that chunky footwork and heads in through that channel. Massinson with Bartlett for company. Leah Bartlett, who has been so disruptive so far in this fixture. I make that 4 turnovers now.
Okay.
Well, from Leicester Tigers, you just thought they'd really struggling to exit, find a way out. Then Leah Bartlett comes up with this, just bides her time 1 second, that ball becomes out. Katie Mattinson under all kinds of pressure. And what a turnover that is for Leicester Tigers when seemingly they're under all kinds of pressure.
Yeah, they're good.
Little Miss Loughborough, Leah Bartlett. College, university, then Lightning. But one of the founder signings of Leicester Tigers when they were formed under Vicky McQueen a few years ago. And if Kie Tamai is Trailfinders #1, that's what Leah Bartlett is for the women's scrummaging now.
Okay, use it 9, timing.
Gallagher calling for it. Finding her midfield partner in Wills, and now over the top and on to McGee, who has got pace to burn, and we saw this in the first half. Ball sits up neatly for Zachary, and a chance goes begging. White with the stop and then the acceleration. Golden Boots driving into Midlands turf as Mattinson whips it on to Seye. Shell deep play here from Trailfinders, just going through their patterns, looking to assert themselves on the counter. Thompson, but the ball's been knocked on. And we've seen this before in this match. Leicester Tigers just allowing Trailfinders to gift them possession.
Yeah, and it was a really nice play out from Leicester Tigers. Identified that space on the edge. Evie Wills puts that ball over the top. Fran McGee just goes to work again with that chip again. But just look at Kate Zachary there. She's winning the race. That's the number 8 who was on the back of the scrum, right on the other side of the field. It's brilliant cover from her. She's such an athlete. But from a Leicester Tigers point of view, I love the fact that they're just trying to get the ball to the spaces. They're giving their, you know, brilliant athletes on edges opportunities to just go to work.
No. Crouch! Bind! Set!
The back line get their breath back, and the forwards find themselves wondering how we've had 4 scrums in 4.5 minutes in this second half. Options to the right in the form of Henrich on her Premiership debut, driven into touch. Massinson and White combining brilliantly to stymie that one.
Tell you what, Katie Mattinson recovers incredibly well there, because from that initial scrum, she's gone all the way on the right-hand side and left a 2v1 that Amy Ralph picks off beautifully. Then she comes back and is able to help Grace White on defensive duties really, really well. And the difference there is you put them into touch, all of a sudden you get the ball, leave them in field, you're still under a lot of pressure.
What you mustn't do, though, is throw the ball straight to the opposition hooker, Amy Cockayne, who, remember, once played as a centre, and you can really tell on an incisive line, and now the ball through the hands of Frey onto Jacobs, driven onwards by Richardson and Frey, who get their hands on their look forward and thrust her towards the line.
Number 12, no clear release.
I tell you what, Frey's played well today, hasn't she? She's really carried well. She's been industrial in the tackle situation around the breakdown.
What are you saying?
I spoke about her earlier as a captain. She's really leading from the front at the moment.
24 years old, tries against Gloucester Hartpury and against Harlequins. There's hope in these parts that she will be the first homegrown Red Rose, such as the excitement around Charlotte Frey. No Tiger has made more carries, dominant carries, or post-contact meters.
Number 3, sub.
Got so much to say about how we can fill the time before this scrum gets back down.
How are we doing, 10? You okay? Okay, let me know when we're happy there, Chris.
Off heads Sophie Benavent.
Same again.
Her first start is complete for Tigers. Someone only took the game up 4 years ago, which means that on is Nadine Vincent, Cornish 22-year-old who's been involved ever since she arrived on a short-term loan over the summer. Has just refused to relinquish that jersey.
Well, we spoke just about Frey then. She's got a huge job now at the back of this scrum. A scrum that has been good for Leicester Tigers. It's potentially been going forward all game for Leicester Tigers. You're 5 metres out from the try line. How well can you keep this ball in? Can you control it at the base and then use it at the appropriate moment?
Swiftly away for Ralph, and on the barrelling line there is Gallagher. What a tackle that was. Brilliant work from Grace Small. A short try averted, but they're going again through Donaldson, who's hauled down, feet out. Look at the green jerseys flooding to the blind side, but they won't need one of them because Tigers have Julia Omakwale.
Thanks, James, I got caught up there.
With her second try in Tigers colours, her second of the season. She has been involved all over the park and just epitomises the Tigers fight back we were promised today.
Well, I spoke about keeping it in the scrum. Ignore me, they get it out with real speed.
Yes, thank you.
Claire Gallagher hits that line at pace, and then it's just a case of reload. Obviously, all the Leicester Tigers forwards are in front of the play at this point. Donaldson takes it on, then they take their time. Then O'Macaulay just goes big, doesn't she? She uses all her power, all her strength. There's only one outcome in her mind that's happening, and it's a great score for Leicester Tigers.
And at long last, we have a kick go through the uprights here at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road. It's a full 7-pointer, and Leicester Tigers lead.
Yeah, bring them on.
I tell you what, it's really good patience as well. Donaldson there decides there's not a big ball to be thrown. And Macaulay just picks it up real. I tell you what, it's a brilliant finish. And most importantly, as you just spoke about, Leicester Tigers have now got a conversion as well. We've been conversionless all game, and that now puts them into the lead. And so often in these tight games, as we've seen throughout the PWR this season, conversions can be really key.
Oh, the kickoff was on the money there, but Leah Bartlett, who has been omnipresent so far this afternoon, is there to gather up the dropped ball. Frey with a carry. In and over it was Sarah Seye, the Azzurri, looking to make it back-to-back playoff matches in next summer's World Cup with Italy. Here is Fury, scything infields the fullback. Ralph finds the try scorer. Zachary really let loose there in the tackle. Hurtling from the line, making that shot count. And it's a big counter-up from Trailfinders. An illegal one, though. Ella Amory is with us, wearing 21, the Belgian Sevens international, which means that Katie Mattinson is still on, so she has come onto the field to replace one of the back line.
What for?
Vicky Laughlin also with us now.
Time off. Hold on.
It's a great effort by Grace Moore to get up, get back in the game. And then again, Trailfinders just trying to get through that breakdown, almost trying to do what Leicester did to them in the first half, back to them in this second half. Just got to be so careful about staying on feet, getting through the middle.
Strapping and subbing, guys.
Barney Madison watching on his first season as the head coach here at Trailfinders. Newly retired, of course, was playing for Ealing, who beat Saracens yesterday in the Premiership Cup. He was playing for them until this summer, but working with this group ever since its formation. And ringing the changes. Cooksey is off, White is off, so we have Amory and Laughlin, fresh legs in that backfield.
I'm just looking at this Trailfinders backline now and trying to figure out what the reshuffle is.
Right,
I think Amory's gone to 10. I think Julia Shell has gone out to 13. Keep Chloe Rowley in the backfield. Vicky Laughlin probably onto this near side left wing. It's a good reshuffle for them. It's a really strong looking backline. Katie Mattinson potentially looks like she's going the whole hog now.
Amory's gone so well at fly half this year. If that is the case, it's a potent hand to shuffle. Cocaine in at the back. They've trusted them all today, Tigers. To Mattioli Woods, Welford Road, hallmark, all of that fire, brimstone, physicality. And speaking of which, Richardson with an almighty truck up the middle. Ralph tips it on to her skipper, Frey, with another go. Here is Ralph again, quick reload onto Bartlett. Bartlett with some support in the form of Vincent, lending everything she has to that breakdown. Hunting for a third. Frey on to Gallagher, who gives us one of those little shimmies, such a threat, ball in hand. Calling for it was Frey. Child's on her shoulder, and in and over the ball now is Donaldson.
Penalty advantage, high.
Big carry there, and drawing the penalty advantage. So, right before the posts, be intriguing to see what Tigers call for here.
Number 3, high tackle.
Well, it's a really interesting decision. I just looked at the Leicester Tigers players as that penalty was called, and lots of arms went in the air. Some pointed to the corner, some looked like they pointed to the post. But it's definitely the corner that they're taking on. Again, they've been strong in the maul. I mean, that kick's just crept over Vicky Laughlin's head. But they've been really strong in the maul. This is Evie Wills going on a barnstorming effort through a hole she perhaps thought was maybe bigger than it ended up to be.
30 seconds.
Barney Madison warning his troops in the week to not underestimate Tigers. I'm not saying they've done that, but this is a new look Tigers. There's a real hunger to them today. They have come to play. They've had a bye week. They've hit the reset button, and they have come back determined for a historic win before home fans for the first time in their history. Now the penalty advantage, and creeping ever onwards is Amy Cocaine. Down she tumbles. Ralph needs to dig this one out.
Okay.
And surely they will head to the corner again here.
Side.
Yeah, they've got to.
Okay.
Again.
Called.
Oh.
What do we know?
What do we know? Well, it looked like, by all accounts, if you're having a strong maul, you're heading towards a try, you get an advantage, you get a pen opportunity, you go and repeat the same thing.
Okay, same standards
in the
now,
referee's
guys.
mind, all they're thinking about is
off.
another infringement, the possibility of yellow cards, the possibilities of penalty tries when you're that close to the try line.
Time
for
off.
Leicester Tigers back in their scrum.
You're good? Not going to double knot it? Okay. Time back on.
And some lace tying advice from referee Hollywood. The double knot. To be fair, it does work. It's not rocket science.
The Trailfinders are only defending this near side with one defender on the 15-metre line. Unless I can see Katie Matheson there dropping into the boot.
Okay, use it 9, you're not going anywhere.
At the base, on they go. Now the scrum moves. Ralph shipping it flat across the face. Gallagher finding Wills on a lovely puncturing line, but the tackle's well made by Shell. Here now is Frey, the young captain. Ralph appealing to the referee, sure that there's been an infringement. It's been stolen, and quite brilliantly too, by Trailfinders. Under so much pressure, soaking it up and then coming away with the ball. Bookaboom has it now. Amory is behind the breakdown as Moore
Okay, leave it now, Green.
looks to keep the green waves at bay. Tiny in-goal area here at Welford Road. They've not got much room to flex.
No. Okay, use it 9.
So surely Massinson will kick to clear here. The former Red Rose, the current Thistle, and she gets good distance on that considering how little space she had.
It's a good kick that had to go off almost no matter how far up the field it goes. But this is the little subplot we've been looking at. This line by Wills straight into Thompson. What a battle that's been all game. Well dealt with on that occasion by Lisa Thompson.
An injury.
But that Leicester Tigers scrum, and then this is the turnover.
Yeah.
Julia Shell gets herself over the ball.
Someone over.
What a moment that is potentially in the match.
Okay,
That ball's out, is it not?
I'll have a look next time, okay? I was happy
I'm
with
just
that
asking
setup,
before
though.
I go. That's
Yeah.
what I was saying, Sarah, is this connected?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm happy for you to ask all day long. Yeah.
Just as a common theme, so I don't want to go without.
Well, she likes playing Tigers, does Julia Shell. 14 points in this one last year. 9 off the tee and a try to boot. That's a very smiley Evie Wills. I wouldn't be smiling like that if I just ricocheted into Lisa Thompson. Heads back into the field of play.
That's the smile when you're trying to convince a physio that you're absolutely fine and do not take me off the field.
Okay, time's still off. Purple 2 and 3 sub.
Nice.
2 and 3.
Nice, Sarah.
Madison makes
Edge of
another
the
couple
side,
of changes
6
in his pack. Off heads Christina Blanco. El Tigre is done for the afternoon, and so too Sarah Seye, which means that Kat Evans, the Welsh international and former Saracen, they coaxed out of retirement during pre-season. And Cassandra Tuffnail of Canada are on. Straight into defensive
you're
detail.
Good there where you are.
Substitutions are always important in games, aren't they? But I think no more so than in this game at this point. Certainly heading into the last 25 or so minutes into a game. The energy they bring, the composure they bring, the physicality that they bring, that they've got a match in this game is going to be so important for both sides.
Thanks, Chris.
Well, the intent from Charlotte Frey, who has stayed down,
Time off.
was eye-catching, but the little trick move doesn't come off, and Trailfinders will have the ball back as the young captain receives a little bit of attention.
Yeah. Yes, you can, yeah.
It's a really good opportunity, as you see sort of both sides, certainly forwards anyway, just having a huddle. It's a really good opportunity in the game just to pull together, you know, reaffirm what was said at half-time by both coaches, reaffirm what it is that you want to go after in these last 25 or so minutes of a game. Because this last 5 or so minutes, Leicester Tigers have had all the position, but probably just been a little bit inaccurate in how they've used it, not come away with any points yet.
Cool, thanks, Stu.
I asked Tom Hudson in the week about the way that Tigers have gone missing for large portions of games this season. There have been blowout quarters for them, and he said there's no such thing as an 80-minute performance, but if you do 65 or 70 good minutes, you're almost always in with a chance to win it. Well, they've done 55 highly competitive minutes now. We will see what the remaining 25 deliver. And just a reminder for you all that at 10 p.m. on Quest on Thursday, Craig will be joined by a flotilla of international rugby stars to talk about all things Autumn Nations Series. Before next Sunday, we are down in Exeter. Emily Scarrett will be making the trip down to visit Susie Appleby's high-flying Exeter Chiefs in a game that is not to be missed on air on TNT Sports 4 from 2:45. Cries of fire from Tigers, and that is absolutely what they have delivered. A scrum that has scorched the grass here in Leicester. A big shove. And some naughty language from Amy Cockayne, apologies.
Yeah, you don't have to be a particularly good lip reader, do you? What a show. Trailfinders have made a couple of changes in that front row, as have Leicester Tigers, and they've just gone absolutely through and over the top of them there.
Okay.
So important now, Leicester Tigers. They've been down here, they've shown their strength in the scrum, they've shown their strength in the maul. They now have to come away with something.
Step off, they're on the edge.
Amy Cockayne, fresh from that pulverising scrum and finding Donaldson. Down it comes, 10 metres out, 25 minutes left to play, and Leicester Tigers leading in their own backyard. Donaldson screaming, Omakwale crying out as well. Gallagher up and onto Wills, barrelling onwards so swiftly to the breakdown was Childs. The appetite is voracious. Scrum advantage. McGee rises with it and goes off in search of a brace. Well tackled. Shot had to come in there. Here now is Omakwale. And the knock on there, agonising.
Okay, nothing there, going back for the first knock on.
Opportunity amounts to nothing, but they will have the put-in. And Trailfinders out on their feet defensively. Let's get the thoughts of their head coach. Barney Madison is with Jenny Drummond.
Spoken to them, and then this
Thanks very much, Claire. Yes, Barney, I mean, you're under a lot of pressure right now. How are you viewing that?
Yeah, set pieces letting us down a little bit at the minute. Obviously, we're putting ourselves under a lot of pressure by playing probably too much in our own areas, and we just need to keep hold of the ball. But yeah.
You've changed the front row. What physicality are you looking to bring, especially under pressure in the scrum?
Yeah, Olivia's will make her debut when she comes on. She's a USA international, so hopefully, she can change this kind of tide the way the scrum's going at the minute.
What was the message at half-time?
Just play in the right areas and keep hold of the ball. Tigers have obviously identified our breakdown and gone pretty hard at that. So yeah, we just need to make sure we're keeping hold of the ball.
Thanks very much for your time.
18, off you go.
And our referee has seen enough at scrum time.
18.
Out comes the yellow card, and leaving the field of play is Cassandra Tufnell, the 26-year-old Canadian.
Scrum again, guys.
Calling for a scrum again is Tigers. What will Trailfinders do in response here?
Yeah, well, it's the really smart decision. You've just lost a front row to the bin. The reshuffle that Trailfinders are now going to have to do because Leicester Tigers have recalled a scrum.
Number 1, sub.
Going to make a sub at the same time, but there's going to have to be a reshuffle. They're going to have to lose a back or a back row to bring the replacement prop on.
What they're doing.
Well, Kie Tamai is leaving the field, so it looks like we will see the debut of Olivia Leatherman, and on she runs now. That there's Sarah Saye, so we have an Italian and a US Eagle there. She is only announced this week, the new signing. Someone with massive potential. They are so excited about Olivia Leatherman. But what a baptism of fire this is.
Building.
First scrum as a Trailfinder.
Stay high, height.
With her heels practically kissing the whitewash of Matiola Woods, Welford Road. And Tigers with the put-in. Rosie Inman no longer in that defensive backline.
Yeah, this is an opportunity Leicester Tigers have to take. They've got a dominant scrum, and they've now Trailfinders have now lost a back, so there's space out wide somewhere. It's almost how and which opportunity they decide to take, but they have to be clinical at this point in the game.
Ralph feeds this latest assault of the Trailfinders line onto Wills. Brilliantly juggled. There's the little switch play. Henrich carrying hard, gets to within 4 metres. Zachary's looking to make a mess of that breakdown. Flat pass across the face. Crashing down is Vincent. Ralph now. Options everywhere she looks, she picks out Cockayne. So prolific, Amy Cockayne. But now to the speedsters, plucks from Leicester skies, and an absolute peach of an opportunity for Leicester Tigers has been seized by Chloe Rowley. She's got Fran McGee for company. It's a scintillating foot race. The support line was beautiful. And from the jaws of a certain score for Tigers, Trailfinders pluck a full five-pointer. It is drop your popcorn stuff.
Oh my goodness. I mean, we said Leicester Tigers had to take that opportunity. They've been in the right area of the field for so long. It just screams of a little bit of impatience. They pull it out wide, throw the big pass. Yes, there's edge space, but you've got to hold your feet or drive harder to take it over the top. Chloe Rowley spots it. I tell you what, that is one hell of a foot race for Fran McGee to get back. Chloe Rowley does so well just to hold it up. She knows in the end she's not going to make it. Julia Schell goes under the post. Scored an intercept try herself, obviously, last week against Exeter.
As we hit the hour mark in this enthralling encounter, Emma Taylor makes it a full 7-pointer. We talk about swings being worth more than a score. Tigers should have scored. Trailfinders get the try in their own sin bin period.
Yeah, it's wounding as that side. It really, really is. But I think, you know, there's so many lessons for Leicester Tigers to look back and review that properly in terms of how they look after the ball, how they control momentum, how they control the speed of ball in those areas of the field. Because when you're that close to the try line, it's not all about pace and speed of ball sometimes. It's about organisation and making sure that we're going, that, you know, they're going to the right spaces.
Tigers 12, Trailfinders 17. Now they can go hunting for the bonus point score. Amory picks out Taylor. Tom Hudson has hardly touched his bench so far. I wonder if we'll start to see some fresh legs now. Still 7 minutes remaining on the yellow card to Cassandra Tuffnail. So Trailfinders playing with 14. Down a Rosie Inman, remember. The backfield is light, but it doesn't seem to matter when you've got a Chloe Rowley to call upon.
Stay there, the ball's there.
Schell, the try scorer beneath darkening skies, finds Vicky Laughlin. There she is again on the support line. The ball in field to Thompson. In field again to Massinson. Surely this one will go. Oh, yes, it will. How fun are Trailfinders this year? That's the bonus point. That is 2 scores in 2 minutes, down to 14. How do Tigers find a way back into this one?
When we talk about shifts of momentum, this is probably one of the bigger ones. Julia Schell has really grown into this game, starting to almost playmate more now. She's not at 10 than when she was, but just the ability of Trailfinders to find that space initially, then keep the ball alive. Lisa Thompson in there again. Katie Matterson on that inside line. It's just really good ball play. It's really simple. Vicky Laughlin riding the first tackle, keeping the ball alive, ability to offload through. Lisa Thompson, really simple, driving square, inside ball to Katie Matterson, who's got the wheels to finish. It's a brilliant score from a Trailfinders point of view, and it's absolutely heartbreaking from a Leicester Tigers point of view.
Kick's not found its mark again, but 10 points now the difference. And all of a sudden, Tigers have gone from being within touching distance of a historic result to currently leaving these parts with no table points.
Leah Bartlett's played really well this afternoon. You know, been a menace around the breakdown, obviously scrummaging really, really well. So great, good afternoon's work for her, although I'm sure with the scoreline she won't be too happy with it at the moment.
Leah Bartlett's departure means that it is good afternoon to Abby Constable on debut for Trailfinders from Gloucester Hartbury over the summer, as was try scorer Katie Massinson. And what a canny bit of business that was, because she was behind Mo Hunt, Bianca Blackburn, and going to be with Sian Jones as well in the pecking order there at the Circus. She's got an instrumental role at Trailfinders this year.
Yeah, and I think that's, you know, it's a good bit of business from Trailfinders' point of view, but I also think it's really smart from Katie Matheson in terms of going somewhere where she knows she's going to play a lot of rugby, and she knows she's gone to a place where she plays a brand of rugby that she's going to be really interested in, as well as a scrum half, you know, someone who wants to get amongst the, you know, the little snipes and the play. So, yeah, and, you know, it's proving really good at the moment from a Trailfinders' point of view. Whoa.
Huge celebrations out on the pitch, and even bigger ones in the stands behind us, because Barney Madison and the rest of his coaching staff just roared their approval. What an introduction that is for Olivia Leatherman.
Yeah, she's announced herself. Barney Madison seemed pretty excited about her arrival, and you can see why. All game, the scrum dominance has been with Leicester Tigers. The previous scrum right under the post, I felt that Trailfinders maybe ran around a little bit, but the ball came out so quickly, and that one actually is all power through the middle.
She's just 22 years old, Olivia Leatherman.
Yeah.
I believe that we have managed to grab hold of Meg Jones. So, Meg, stand by. We're coming to you again on camera. Do with your face what you will. Jenny Drummond, over to you.
Oh, thanks very much, Claire. Yes, I've already mentioned to her off camera the faces that she pulled, and you love the camera, right?
I'm just here for entertainment purposes only today. So, good game, and I'm just here to support, but also provide some entertainment off the pitch, which is why I do well.
Well, firstly, when are you back?
Hopefully next week, a couple of weeks, see what happens in training, but back in full training, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to having you back. But also, let's talk about the game right now. You just said to me, momentum shifts. That's exactly what happened. Talk me through the last kind of 5 or 10 minutes when, you know, you guys were looking so close to scoring again. Yeah,
we looked good. We were up in their 22. We just need to come back with points. It's classic rugby chat. But getting to their 22 and come away with points at the moment now, Trailfinders are down to 14 and they're on top of us. So we need to get that momentum back onto our own.
Are you stressed?
No, feeling good, feel confident. We had a good training week, really pushed the competitive nature in our jungle this week, and it's really evident, it's really showing. We just need to do the whole 80 minutes.
What animal are you?
I think I'm a monkey. Cheeky monkey.
Cheeky monkey indeed, that's the one. Thanks very much, Meg. Look back to seeing you next week.
Thanks, guys.
17. Kate, your captain, they need to go with them.
Well, from a cheeky monkey to a prolific thistle, Lisa Thompson will look to make it 2 beautiful touch finders in a row. And so she does.
She's kicked really well this afternoon.
Okay.
You know, they have had a few momentum swings where they've had turnovers and penalties, and her ability to knock it long down the sideline and give that line out a really good opportunity, as well as her carrying through the middle and defensive efforts, has been really, really strong.
Still down to 14, remember. Evans finds Zachary. They've struggled with the physicality piece at points today, Trailfinders, but now they've got themselves a penalty advantage and the ball 4 metres out. Emery at the base of that one. Here now is Seye, met with a double tackle, and Henrich and Frey combined to drive her backwards. One-up runners.
Still under
proving
penalty
effective
advantage.
at this stage. Taylor next to go, up goes the hand. That is 5 for Trailfinders.
Oh, sorry.
Emma Taylor finishing off a couple of almightily impressive phases.
So often you talk about, you know, abilities to play with a player down when you get a sin bin, and sometimes teams go into the self-preservation and it's just about surviving that and trying not to concede. Trailfinders have scored 3 tries in that period, which, you know, add that to the whole context of the game is a little bit crazy, to be honest, but fair play to them. It seems to have galvanised them. It seems to have, you know, with the substitutions, really added a bit of energy and impetus about what they're doing.
Do you think we could compare it a little bit to what Tom Hudson was saying in the week about pressure and expectation? All of a sudden, Trailfinders find themselves with their backs against the wall. They've been in their own 22 for 15 minutes. They're shorn of a player. And you can kind of stick it all on red and just go for it.
You can, and I don't think you can underestimate that Chloe Rowley intercept in terms of how under pressure Trailfinders were for such a period of time. They then score them, end up down the right end and the other end of the field with the Julia Shell try. And for Leicester Tigers, that's a really hard pill to swallow, but for Trailfinders, it's such a big boost, and then you build on from there. I think, yeah, without that, I think it's been challenging for them, but yeah, just 3 tries with a yellow card is fair play.
19 points scored whilst we were shorn of Tuffnail, who is now back on into the fray. So Saya gets to sit down for the 2nd time today. There's also been a change. Grace Moore is off, which means that Annabelle Meta, one of the most exciting young English talents around, is on, wearing 20. 2 tries against your Loughborough, Emily, a few weeks ago, and so impressive with it. It's 15 on 15 now.
Keep coming.
But scoreline, anything but showing parity. 12-29 as Lisa Thompson takes that high ball, rakes it along the touchline and sets off in hot pursuit. That is a seriously good kick. McGee on to Gallagher, who's been very quiet in this 2nd half. So much the work has been done by the forwards, by Tigers, so much the scoring by Trailfinders, whose Vicky Laughlin has it now.
Okay, not now, Green.
Been away training with GB7s in the week, so coached by former Trailfinders coach Giselle Mather. Bringing all of that athleticism and poise to proceedings that she always does. Here she is now on the ball, finding Raleigh, whose involvement changed this game in a heartbeat.
Okay, play on.
Loose ball,
no,
Donaldson, the recipient. Here's Vincent.
Release was good.
Ball turned over, and having an absolute blinder on debut is Leatherman. Massenson tips it up and onto Shell, back in field for Raleigh, who needed a little bit more space than that with which to work. Evans to Amory, pass finds nobody. Thompson was there to gather.
Advantage.
Scrum advantage going the way there of Tigers, so
it's back for the first.
Back we come.
Green scrum. Are you happy this side, Simon?
10 minutes remain, Tigers with the scrum. Emily, at this stage, bearing in mind that table points is their next objective, what do they need to change?
I think
number 8.
You look at the time on the clock for one. 10 minutes is a lot. You know, we've just spoken how Trailfinders scored 3 tries in the period of a sin bin, which is also 10 minutes. So, you know, a lot can change. I think it's, you know, they've just got to fire back up again. They've got to get some energy. They've got to have some moments. They've got to get behind one another, celebrate those small wins as we spoke about in the first half. You know, Trailfinders are clearly, as Barney spoke about when we spoke to him, Barney Madison, the head coach, is back playing in the right areas of the field. Julia Shell kicking it long, Lisa Thompson kicking it even longer. So, you know, it's going to be really tough for Leicester Tigers, especially under a scrum that is now creaking. But they've just got to, yeah, pump up the tyres and try and get some energy back.
They do get it away, though, and on to McGee. Gallagher, oh no, this is McGee. It's Fury who had it previously.
12, initial side entry.
Penalty at the breakdown, and just caught offside there was Lisa Thompson. Kate Zachary is off, and Megan Barwick is with us. So Tyson Bukaboom resumes the captaincy duty she fulfilled so admirably in Trailfinders' debut season last year.
Trailfinders, you're here.
3 World Cups worth of experience brought to that number 4 jersey. And coaxed across the Atlantic to come and join Trailfinders ahead of, hopefully, a 4th campaign.
Don't swim! Penalty advantage, 16 swimming.
swimming. Not allowed in
Okay,
Leicester.
underground by Green, you're
Brought
under
down
advantage.
is Omakule, who's tried
Keep that
feels
mark,
such a long time ago now. Little dink through from Gallagher, brilliantly gathered by Amory. So back we come for the
16.
advantage.
Amory's covered that really well, but this is the tide and the shift that we spoke
16
about, and the moments
swimming.
that Leicester Tigers have got to get behind. That's 2 penalties now in a row, and they've gone from deep in their own half, slowly working their way up the field into an area of the field where they've spent a lot of this second half, but just not been able to come away with any points.
Okay, where you are. Okay, step off, step.
19 points to 7. They are trailing in this second 40. Cocaine finding Donaldson.
Penalty advantage, swimming.
Yet more swimming. Immediately out goes the hand of Hollywood. So a free shot here. Jordan Russell grappling with that one on the floor. Cocaine whips it away onto Gallagher. Wills finding Childs.
That's knocked on. Captain. Right, I've had a side entry, then 2 more penalties. That's enough now, okay? No, that's, no, you're not. I'm right there. Okay, that's your warning. Okay, time's still off. Green 12, sub. Number 12, sub.
Katie Childs, the latest to depart, and Tash Jones, the latest to arrive. So a bit of experience entering the fields for Leicester Tigers.
Okay,
Tash Jones, who withdrew minutes before kickoff in round 1, and we've not seen since. Such an experienced head.
On the 5. On the 5.
Might see Gallagher scooch out to inside centre as a result, but they won't be called into action for the foreseeable because that line-out's overthrown. Kat Evans all too happy to pounce upon it.
Tackling, no clear release. It's sweeping, we're sweeping. Thank you.
Oh, it's another huge moment.
Time off.
There's just chaos in that Leicester line-out. Amy Cocaine's thrown it in the air. Nobody's gone up to go and get it. Just saw Donaldson just put her hand in the air. I don't know whether that was her apologising for the mistake in the line-out or something different, but those are the moments that Leicester Tigers, you have to get right at this level. You have to get right. When the score is so tight and the moments are so big, you don't get too many second chances with things like that.
Green 2, sub.
Then it's a penalty conceded as well, and all of a sudden, the way Lisa Thompson's been kicking, they're going to be defending somewhere around the halfway line.
Well, that overthrow will be the final involvement of Amy Cocaine's return to Tigers colours. Off she heads, so Nikki Simpson is on with us, who's been in and around a few Brian Easton squads up in Scotland. We touched on it in the first half, and we'll touch on it again now. At key moments, Tigers set pieces just letting them down.
Okay.
Luke Stratford, who leads in that department from a coaching perspective, will be so frustrated as Meg Barwick heads from the field. Knocked to the head by the looks.
She's coming off now.
Of the actions of the medic there.
Okay, she can come on now. Okay, take a step off, I'm on the mark. Sorry. No, you're good, you're good.
Which means that Grace Moore, who put in a serious shift before leaving, is back on and into the thick of things. 7 minutes remaining. 17 points the difference. And Lisa Thompson looking to finish with a flourish on her first start for Trailfinders, drilling that up to almost halfway.
Okay.
It seems so simple, but it can make such a difference in a game. You know, just the quality of a player's ability to kick the ball a decent distance down the field. The opportunity now to attack almost near halfway compared to maybe just outside your 22 is massive. Or defend.
Also massive is the wingspan of Julia Omakwale, who has just turned that over in the air. Just like that, Tigers back on the attack. Lovely inside ball, finding McGee with one to beat, beats her with a relish, absolutely floors it. this one yet.
It will be about right, yeah.
Now we're on again, aren't we? Brilliant score. Obviously a bit of speed about this conversion that Leicester Tigers are trying to kick. Everybody scuttles back to halfway to get set, get ready.
Oh, and the kick ricocheting off the upright. Still 12 points the difference, but that a serious swing in momentum.
Should be. Nick, it's the clock, right?
This is the try.
Because they're asking.
Amy Ralph, who's been brilliant all game. There's just no kind of guard defender, as you traditionally call it from Trailfinders. Nobody in that channel. And Framagee, who's been busy all game, showing her wheels. One player to beat, just kicks on the outside. Clean grass. Brilliant finish. And now for Leicester Tigers, they've got a couple of bonus points to go after, as well as obviously trying to get themselves back and winning the game. But 3 tries now for them.
Taken back by Green.
Ralph still going. So busy. How many of these one-out runners has she picked out this afternoon? 12 points in it, but the ball stripped there right as Tigers were going on the hunt for a bonus point score. It's a really difficult pass there, but Laughlin pops up, seizes it, finds Thompson on her shoulder. Mattinson is in there, Moore screaming for it and gathers off her bootlaces. Jacobs shutting the door on that particular inroad, but look at the bump there, the fend. Wonderful work from Toughnell back onto the pitch. Taylor's there. Now this is Amory out wide. So many options, queuing up for it. Thompson has it. Head down, shoulders squared, carries hard. Evans wants this one. Atkinson obliges. 3 meters out now. Bookaboom and Evans combining. This now is Moore, won't be stopped from there. Oh, she will. Fabulous tackle from Amakwale. But with her second of the afternoon is Emma Taylor. Quickest to react, to barrel over, and that surely is the match.
And that's just the difference that you get from a side when they do have a bit of patience and they are able to execute when they are down the right areas of the field. There's a couple of initial breaks from Trailfinders. I think Amory's been good since she's come on. Look at that big carry through the middle. Offload into Emma Taylor. She's been good today as well. Whoa, is there something to look at there? I'm not sure. That might have been a rip in the tackle. Again, Amory on the ball. Chloe Rolly's hands. Lisa Thompson's been everywhere again. Again, just that patience there. Not trying to overwork it, but just relaying the ball, going through phases.
Yeah,
and Emma Taylor again on the end of that one.
$16 points so far for Emma Taylor. Up go the flags, up go her tally. That is 18 for the Canadian, who has been a brilliant signing for a side that she believes have top 4 potential this year. Emily, your player of the match, please, and thank you. There's someone going home with a bag of Clinique goodies today.
Yeah, there's been some really good performances, I think, from both sides. I think, you know, certainly from Trailfinders, it's been their backs that have really brought this to life. And yeah, Lisa Thompson there on screen, maybe giving it away a bit early, but Lisa Thompson on screen, she's been brilliant. Her ability to kick, but also that battle in the middle. She's able to defend the threats of Leicester Tigers, but also, you know, hold that midfield to give her outside backs opportunities as well as carrying. So Lisa Thompson is the Clinique Game Face player of the match.
Well, the surprise might have been ruined there by our wonderful director, Dan, but I think a lot of people watching on from home, Emily, will have known who it was going to. She has been exemplary. She makes the back and forwards between 7s and 15s look so effortless, does Lisa Thompson. Well, that's the result, surely. for Barney Madison's women, but there are bonus points to be had, or at least the try one for Tigers. Still hustling through Russell now, shaping for an audacious one-armed offload, but instead taking the tackle. Down she goes. Jones finding Frey, still going. She has played so many minutes this campaign. The young captain rising now is McGee. Only the youngster, the debutant Neve Gallagher to beat. Gets the fend away. Fury's in there, helping to enact the clean out. Ralph onto the lock forward, and now one of the props, this tough nail. Down the short side they go. Fury picks out the woman on her shoulder. 15 seconds to go. This for a try bonus point. This would mean the world to Tigers in their own backyard. One-armed offload from the captain. Laughlin knocks that one on. Scrum advantage going the way of Tigers. Jacobs onto Omakwule. Going backwards here, such as the intensity of Trailfinders' defence. Truly playing whistle to whistle.
Okay, scrum advantage over.
Scrum advantage is over as Constable has another crack. Jones, deep pass onto Henrich.
Hands away, purple.
Back on the 10 metre now. Jacobs, Omakwule. Attritional stuff this, the chip and the chase, and Rolly will gather this one. Being screamed at to kick it from the field, but she wanted to have a go. It's the only way the fullback knows. Laughlin pointing to the stands here at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road, which is where the ball, courtesy of Katie Massinson, will end up. And it's a first away win of the season for this ambitious, fizzing Trailfinders outfit. And a bit of a shot across the bows of the PWR, because they're not newbies anymore this lot. They are finding their feet and starting to throw some proper punches. They really had to hustle for it. The slenderest of leads at half-time, but they will return home with the full 5 points. The perfect springboard into round 6, when the back-to-back champions will be rolling into West London. Tigers' long wait for a win at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road goes on. 10 games and counting. They have an awful lot to do before Bears visit in just 6 days' time. But what a performance from Trailfinders women. That is job done and then some on a cool, crisp Sunday afternoon. Full time in this one. And it is Trailfinders who win by 36 points to 17.